Wait. Time out for 1 second. Is this actually something that you sent? Has this actually been sent?
Oh yeah, go look at my Twitter feed. There.
Okay. Will do. Continue, please.
Mikey P here from the We Speak English Good podcast. Go check out my friends at the Usual Saints podcast. You won't regret it. Now let them hear it, Nature Boy.
I couldn't hear you over the Zoom lady. Sorry.
Not like the time we had to wait half an hour because your computer needed to fucking restart.
That's the problem when you invest in new equipment that's not 30 years old.
My mic not working for 30 seconds is a bigger deal than your 30 minutes of us fucking sitting around waiting for you. You're right.
It's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
It was. The computer was not ready. Very unprofessional.
We are off. Let's go.
I think the AT&T internet is pretty unprofessional, but you know, whatever.
I guess I can't talk about it either.
Nah, Spectrum motherfucker. Pay the $200 to the man and get the fast internet for yourself.
Thanks for that.
Welcome to a new episode of the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here this week with Sainte and Jeremy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know if we're going to save some stuff for a possible USSR episode. That's for Sainte or whatever he's going to rebrand it. So we'll probably talk about it here in case he rebrands, which we really haven't discussed with Jeremy or anything. Not that it's any of his business since it's your baby, but did you want to put that out there in the ether or anything like that? Or
are we still thinking about it? I just want to make something a little more like universal, something where if somebody was just perusing like TV and movie podcasts, they'd look at it, they'd be like, oh, okay, as opposed to, you know, especially with current events, it's like, is this what is this pro? Is it anti-Ukrainian? What's going on here? So I just want to kind of do a little rebrand, probably do a new intro, retitle, and just make it more so people understand that, you know, it's a TV film review podcast. Probably look for some kind of punish. I don't know. The easiest way to go is if we go with, you know, the the Boondock Suspects, which would still tie into this one. But, you know, if someone looks at that, you know, anyone who's watched both movies or the Boondock Saints, they, you know, kind of get it. And then we could. I was imagining our cover art could be like the four of us, well, three of us plus Vinny, kind of wearing suits, but in the Usual Suspects lineup. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can get someone to draw that, but then I was like, then again, that might be a little pricey. So we'll see. But yeah, there's definitely have to be a rebrand because I'm happy with the episodes. Just I'm kind of thinking, man, you know, maybe we could get a little more, I don't know, downloads, maybe a reviewer or two if it was easier to find and people had a better idea. Because like I said, people have asked my wife about it, and when she knows this, she goes, yes, the Usual Saints, I think. But she goes, and he has another one called the USSR, and they always give her a funny look, like, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? So off the rip, you're like having to explain, you know. So
your wife admits to the fact that you have a podcast? Mine denies it.
When she's asked. I mean, we've had people come in here and look at my equipment. We've had an appraiser, a termite guy, and some other people. They're like, oh man, what's all that equipment? She goes, oh, my husband, he does stuff and makes a podcast. Oh, really? What's this podcast about? It's the USSR. It's what? Anyway. So yeah.
We should get business cards so they can get passed out like to people who visit the home like that. Like, hey, take a listen. Here you go. Thanks. Bye.
People still do business cards.
I have to hand out business cards on almost every case I go out on. So yeah, different form, different thing, I guess, though. Yeah. You guys like my shirt? Phone Home ET. I got it yesterday at Universal. Pretty happy with it. Really nice and light.
Where did you go? Because I just came back from Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I figured you probably want to talk about that. We just went and did we went to see the Batman in 4DX, which I highly recommend, and I know we'll talk about. Did your camera just switch? That was weird.
Yeah, it did.
That was it was like jarring. That's all. It's fine. You still look fine. And then, since we were in Orlando, Sophie's friend was up there and they wanted to go to Universal. So we went to Universal, let them hang out, do whatever. And she wanted to go on the ET ride. It's been there for fucking 30 something years at this point, and it's not changed at all. It's still, whatever. It still is what it is. But on the way out, I like baseball type t-shirts with the half or 3/4 sleeves or whatnot. And I saw this shirt and it's like this nice light material. And I was like, it looks kind of cool. Let me get that and throw that on. So I bought it. It's fine. It's a good investment.
I was going to fall asleep during this story, but Saint just got up and walked away. Shit.
He asked about it, you stupid fuck.
He did, but obviously your explanation was fairly boring. He got up and walked away. I mean, I'm just saying. I think you were boring him so much he walked away. I'm just saying.
Well, he's back now.
No, not at all. ET, phone home. Interesting. I just had to.
Hey, you missed nothing. Okay. Nothing at all.
Eat a dick, Jeremy. I mean, just like it's Monday night. Let's see. Saint, what's your
Tuesdays?
Saint, how was Hollywood Studios? I still have yet to be. I think we discussed this weekend after our Universal passes run out. I think we're probably going to get Disney passes, even though we do want to go to SeaWorld and try out that new roller coaster they have, the Icebreaker, but we'll see.
Fish killer? No, I'm just I don't know. Have either one of you been to Hollywood Studios before? It was the first time I went. My wife, she went to.
My wife was there the other day.
Oh, really?
I've been to MGM Studios. That's how long it's been.
Oh, it was MGM back then.
Yeah, Captain EO, Tower of Terror.
Captain EO is at Epcot.
Oh, you're right. Man, I fucking can't believe they got rid of Captain EO. I mean, what did Michael Jackson do to get his ride taken away?
They bring it back every once in a while.
I don't think so. I think now they're ripping it up and they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy is there now. Is going to be there now. New Guardians of the Galaxy,
over by where the dinosaur thing used to be.
I don't know the exact layout. All I know is that's all they were talking about because we considered going to we went 2 days. We just went to Hollywood Studios both days because we figured if we didn't get everything done the first day, we just do the second day, going back and forth where we do the park hopper. But then it was like an extra like $40 each ticket. Like I don't know. So we just did Hollywood Studios, but I know everyone that goes to Epcot now says like it's been kind of a maze because of the new Guardians ride. And then I think in Magic Kingdom, they're building the Tron ride that they have at Disney Shanghai. That's it. I'm saying wrong. But yeah, it's a replica of that. That looks pretty cool, like a motorcycle ride, even though I'm guessing you have to get lockers because you sit on it like a bike. So you have to like put your purses and all that kind of stuff probably in a locker before you get on it. But that looks pretty coll too. So we just decided to go to Hollywood Studios just because it had the most amount of rides. Of course, Star Wars. So I got to go there. And, all the other rides and seem like I had pretty good food. I guess quick recap. I don't know. How in depth should I get? Should I make this quick or just, I don't know.
Whatever you want to do. And I just realized that we never talked about when I went to Busch Gardens the weekend before either. So we can touch on that probably for Chad moment of the week. But go ahead.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll start out. No Chad moments for me at Disney, even though I'm trying to think, was there ever a situation I could have had one? Not really. I guess the only I started this. I just said, fuck it. If we're going to go to Disney, let's just pay the extra money. I don't want to fucking wait in lines for, 2-3 hours and I'll do all that. So we stayed at a Disney Resort, Pop Century, which is at their budget one. And they have another one called like Art Animation where you can take, it's called Skyliner. It's kind of like the gondola and it's like the little gondola pods that you get in and you can see through and you go over a lake and you can get there. We stayed at Disney Resort early pass and then we paid for, now it's called Genie Plus. And I guess a few things I want to hit on. First of all, so everything's done on this Genie Plus, which is on the My Disney Experience app. And then you have to pay $15 for Genie Plus. And if you want to get on some of the rides, these are called like the fancy rides or the individual lightning lane, something like Rise of the Resistance, which is their ultra, special Star Wars ride. I'll get to that. That's another $15. That's just for that ride. If you want to go into the fast lane, otherwise you can get in line. The day I went, it was also weird. So we didn't know, we kind of fucked up. We went and it ended up being Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras, the end of Mardi Gras. So like half of Louisiana was at Disney that we didn't know. Everybody had a Louisiana accent. And the first day, it was Sunday, which was first day was Monday. We got there Sunday night, Sunday evening, checked in. Hotel was fine. It was smallish, but got one of them Murphy beds. Everything's fine. Resort food was average. That's actually one of the things I said. Most of the food was just kind of like average to not bad. There was nothing that really knocked me out of, although the blue milk was pretty good. Star Wars blue and green milk, you can get both of those. Blue milk was pretty good. You can also get it with a shot of rum. I think the green milk, you can get a shot of tequila. So I would suggest that because it's kind of it's not milk. It's kind of a smoothie kind of deal. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not milk. It's some concoction. And then I had rum in mine because that's what you do. Let's see here. So we paid for all of that stuff. And then you have to wake up. So here's the thing. With the Genie Plus, you got to wake up 7:00 in the morning because everyone books all the shit. So I paid the extra money to get on Rise of Resistance, got like a 10:30 time for it. And then the Genie Plus throughout the day, you can like book an hour slot when they become available. And then they'll sell out by the end of the day where there won't be any more slots left. So on day one, I just bought the Rise of Resistance because that's the one that day. And also that ride goes down all the time. It just, it's complicated. There's like 15 parts to it. It's a pretty cool ride, but some people were waiting in line 3 hours. And I'm like, fuck that shit. No way I would have. So we get there. We get to the park early on Monday. Not too busy. I'd say it's probably moderate on Monday. And we just go to the Star Wars. I mean, there's Toy Story Land, Star Wars. What else we got there? Hollywood Boulevard, Tower of Terror over in the corner. The Indiana Jones part. And am I missing another part? What am I missing? And then the rest is kind of like, I would just say like an overall mixture of stuff. But so we get there walking around and, some of the rides again, the first day, Monday, wasn't that bad. So we just got in line and we did like Toy Story Mania. We were able to get on a couple of Toy Story rides. We went and seen some other attractions. So then 10:30 comes around and it's our time to get on Rise of Resistance. And of course, it's shut down because it breaks. And so the line gets longer and longer. And then when we went to go tell the lady, she's like, don't worry about it. If you have a lightning pass, if it misses your time period, then it becomes good for the rest of the day. So you don't have to worry. If you miss your hour window, you'll get it. Luckily, they fixed it within about 50 minutes. Now, the regular line, that got up to about almost 3 hours. And I looked at that. I'm like, I want to say this. There is no fucking ride in the world where I'm spending 3 hours of my day after I've done spent however money just to get in the park and Disney and parking and all that, to be in line for 3 hours for one ride, so you figure at 10:30, you're not getting on that thing till like 1:30. But anyway, use the lightning lane. And with the lightning lane, you usually get on the ride within like, between 5 and 10 minutes. That was cool. Let's see. Most of the rides was pretty good. We really, really had a good time. The highlight, and this only happened because me and my wife, once we booked everything, they have what's called Savvy's Workshop. And that's where, I don't know if you've seen it, Mike, you can build a lightsaber. I don't know if you've seen you build your own specialty here. If anyone's watching on YouTube, which I know you're not, but for these two guys,
I was going to get it for Sophie. We right before the pandemic, we booked it. And then the pandemic shut it down. They canceled everything.
Right. So it's pretty much booked now. It's booked till, it's March. So now it's booked until about June. But you basically get your choice. They start with a chassis, and actually it's a lot heavier than it looks. And of course, I'm kind of evil, so went to the dark side or whatever. But it's like you pick 2 sleeves, you pick an emitter, and everything comes apart. It's modular, so you can take it apart and all that shit. Luckily, me and my wife were when we booked it, and I went to go. I was like, let me make a reservation for this. All booked up till June. So I just kept on it every day, just looking to see. And then eventually she's the one who just was like, "Ooh, it's available." I'm like, book it. And, just for curiosity's sakes, I've been checking and it's still been sold out the whole day. So that was a highlight. My son made one too. He made one that was more like naturey, elementally with a rancor tooth at the bottom for the hilt. That's pretty cool. Day 2 was Fat Tuesday. We were there Tuesday. Fucking packed. We went with the early pass, everything. I'm telling you, half of Louisiana had to be there. It was like shoulder to shoulder. And of course, so we went early entry. We tried to get on this Mickey and Minnie, one of the newer rides that we heard really good things about. We get in line. They're like, the ride's down right now, and we don't have an estimated time, even though they say typically it takes about 40 minutes to an hour, right? Anytime one of these rides go down. So we're waiting, get an hour. They update again. Ride's still not up. Wait another half hour. They're like, we would highly suggest if you go and experience other things in the park. And that pretty much told us and the people we were in line with talking to is like, yeah, this might be down for a while. That was the longest. Of course, my luck, the ride that we get in line for, like we figured we only have to wait for like 30, 45 minutes. We ended up waiting an hour and a half before we bailed. But that ride ended up being down for about 5.5 hours that day. So the rest of the day, that ride was just 3, 4, until the end of the day, like the last 30 minutes, it went down to under an hour. So we didn't get to go on that, but we did go on Tower of Terror. Me and my daughter went on that. Pretty cool. I don't think it's changed much. If you've been there, I doubt that's changed, but we went, we ended up getting our lightning pass because we paid for it. And that line was like 2 hours all day long. That day was just, like I said, food was mostly, there was nothing great. I mean, some of the Star Wars food was like quote unquote unique, but nothing amazing. There was that Hollywood Brown and Derby. I don't know if you guys have ever been the fancy dancy restaurant, and food was better there, but not for the price. I don't feel like that's where the Cobb salad was supposed to be invented. $20 Cobb. It was a good salad, fresh, tasty, but $20. One thing I will say, they have their famous grapefruit cake, which is like a white cake with grapefruit filling and frosting stuff. Highly don't recommend that. We had that in their 50th. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, it's Disney's 50th anniversary. So there's all kinds of that shit going on. 50th anniversary pins, buttons, everything you want to buy is all 50th anniversary. So, but that grapefruit cake was probably the worst thing. I'm like, this is supposed to be one of their highlights of this restaurant, and I thought it was terrible. But other than that, had a real good time. Family had a good time. I'd recommend it. If you can find, it's crazy this weekend, not this week, but we checked it this weekend, and my wife, she was, doing her research. She was on one of these Facebook groups about Disney, and it's like today is like the slowest day they've had in 2 months. So if you went today, some of the rides when we went that were 2 hours, they're like 35, 40 minutes today. So, but anyway, that was my Disney experience. Good once in a lifetime. I'm happy with the money I spent. Had a real good time. And maybe next time, probably going to go try to check out Epcot or Animal Kingdom. But that was my vacation. Mike?
Nice. I guess I can talk about my Busch Gardens thing since it all kind of blends together with theme park news. Were any of the rides at Hollywood Studios like shut down for annual maintenance or anything like that?
Like shut down, or just like
like shut down. Oh, sorry, we're doing annual maintenance kind of shit.
Well, okay, so every park does the fireworks show at the end. And funny, we were on the gondola going back, and we could see the fireworks from Epcot going off as we were leaving. Well, that's like, but yeah, because of they stopped it because of COVID. But now Hollywood Studios, for some reason, they have it's called Fantasmic. It's an end of the night light show. I don't know. It was always our favorite night show. Right, we used to go to Disney all the time, and that's what people said. People said, "Oh, that's amazing." I guess they're bringing it back in May, and it's supposed to include Encanto and all the new latest Disney movie stuff, but that was still down when we got there. So that was disappointing. And supposedly the fireworks at Hollywood Studios supposed to be pretty cool too. So that was kind of a letdown. But that was the only thing that was shut down. Everything else was up and running. They're also, I don't know if you guys before, they have like a Star Wars kind of like museum part. It's pretty cool. They have like all the models, and they have like costumes and outfits, like a Star Wars, all the posters and stuff. That was also getting renovated for. I mean, it was open, but half of it was closed, so we couldn't see all because we looked over and there was more Star Wars stuff. It was like, oh, this part's closed. We're renovating it. We're updating it to include the sequel trilogy and all that. So that was a little disappointing. Besides that, and also I would not suggest, there's a Mickey and Minnie movie that they do at the movie theater. That shit was so terrible. It was like the worst car. It was Mickey and Minnie traveling something. It was one of the worst 6 minutes. And we just want, fuck it. If it was available, we'd go do it. But literally me, my wife, my kids were all falling asleep. Like this is just okay. Sidetrack. But have you noticed the new Mickey Mouse cartoons? They're trying to, it feels like it has a Ren and Stimpy aesthetic to it. Like Goofy looks like a drunk, like his eyes are like bloodshot and he looks drunk and homeless. And it's all in the new. Okay. So, the classic Mickey and Minnie Mouse, the new ones are like those, it's black and white. And it has a very like Nickelodeon Ren and the closest I can say it feels like Ren and Stimpy, even the jokes. And I hate it. And I hated that one. So that was something I thoroughly disliked. And there was also a Walt Disney documentary movie at a movie theater. I thought that was pretty cool. Muppets 3D. I forgot Muppets 3D. That was cool. I liked Muppets 3D. That's Indiana Jones was cool. So
I don't watch a lot of Mickey Mouse. So I didn't know they were even making new ones. So interesting. Was Rock and Roller Coaster open? Did you go on that or?
It was actually the first day it shut down a bunch. But we went. So when we were planning it out, we decided to do the second day. Second day we got in line. And that was the only thing we actually waited in line for longer than, and we were in line for like an hour and like 10 minutes. Yeah. And we went to Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. That was pretty cool. Only one that goes upside down in the dark. And that was pretty cool too. So like I said, overall, I had a great time. I definitely feel like I got my money's worth, even though probably overpaid. You got that Disney bump or whatever they call it. So overall, no, I had a good time. Glad.
All right. So let's see. I'm looking at my Twitter thread that I wrote to Busch Gardens on last Saturday.
Wow.
All right.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me strap in.
So it's my kid's birthday. She wanted to go there. She wanted to bring a friend. So with three of us are in the car, we're trying to park. I had annual passes to Busch Gardens for a couple of years at least, to Adventure Island, SeaWorld, all those kinds of things. I never had this kind of issue. We're trying to park and literally I'm just stuck on the road, not even in the parking lot because the parking is so slow. We must have waited in line for 30 something minutes just to park in the parking lot to the park. By the time I get to the parking lot, it's $30 to park, which to me is outrageous. I'm not used to that. I usually have an annual pass, but $30, they've increased that parking fee a bit. Nothing's changed about the parking lot to make it special. It's not covered. There's no air conditioning. So I don't know what I'm paying for besides they're wanting me to pay them more money. We get through, we start driving along, waiting to park. It says both lanes open. Okay, so I'm getting in the second lane. And then wouldn't you know it, the second lane just closes about, a few hundred feet later. And so you have to merge back into the first lane. You got 10 workers in vests just standing around in a circle talking to each other, not helping guide anyone anywhere. So this is my opening experience to the fucking Busch Gardens. So I was not really happy with that shit. Let's see. Like literally I put, how is it possible that your parking situation is so horrible? We've been in line for 30 minutes with no end in sight. $30 for standard parking to wait in this line at Busch Gardens. This is a fucking joke. Get your shit together, Busch Gardens. And now it merges into one lane after sign said both lanes open. This place sucks, Busch Gardens.
Wait. Time out for 1 second. Is this actually something that you sent? Has this actually been sent?
Oh yeah, go look at my Twitter feed. There.
Okay. Will do. Continue, please.
So we get inside, and the first thing they want to do is, what did we want? Oh, they want to do cheetah hunt first. So we go over there. We get in line. We only had the regular passes. We didn't have the quick queue. And so I'm waiting in line and it says it's like 120 minutes. And I talked to Sophie. I said, I looked up how much the quick queue was. And I said, Sophie, do you want me to get the quick queue? I said, it's your birthday. I normally, wouldn't want to pay the extra money for, a quick queue, but I want to make sure we ride whatever you want to ride. And
explain what the quick queue is. That like
it's like your Lightning Pass or your Universal Express or whatever. So It was like an extra $90 something a ticket. But I saw her doing the math in her head when we were waiting in line for, the first 15, 20 minutes for cheetah hunt. She's like, I think she said that she thinks we could probably only ride 3 rides by the time we were done. By the time we got into the park after the parking fiasco, it was 11:15, 11:30. Park closes at 8. So I said, wait here. I go down And I checked with someone before I bought them because I could buy them in the app, but I just wanted to check what the difference was because one was like $10 cheaper, but then I realized that one wasn't available that day. It didn't make sense because it included like first row access or whatever. They also charge you to go in the front row at Busch Gardens, SeaWorld. So it's like, it's not like Universal where you can fucking just say, hey, can I get the front row? You wait a few minutes off to the side and then they put you in the front row. So I bought the quick queue for the three of us. We went on cheetah hunt, it was pretty fast. Went on Cobra Curse. It was fine. Some of the like cheetah hunt didn't even scan the quick queue. So like we got to go on that like 3 times with the quick queue, even though you're only supposed to go once because these people are just checking it rather than scanning it.
Okay.
But then we realized, when we went to Egypt and I saw it. Actually, I apologize. I skipped a part. When we were coming into the park, I noticed on the sign what rides they said were shut down. They had, I can read from my thing. They had Shikra, which was one of the highlights of why we went there. Shikra is like one of the best coasters in Florida, closed, annual maintenance. Montu, the Egypt roller coaster, closed, annual maintenance. Skyride, closed. I don't know what they're doing with that one. Log Flume, Stanleyville Log Flume, closed, totally drained of water. Iron Gwazi, the new roller coaster that, they're advertising all over the place, opens March 11th to the public. And even though they're letting people on, you have to be a pass member to go on the roller coaster. So that's 4 rides at least that I can remember off the top of my head that were totally shut down for quote unquote annual maintenance bullshit. So I was a little pissed off about that. It would have been nice to know. I mean, we still would have probably gone because Sophie wanted to go and go on cheetah hunt and everything. But I'll tell you, I went to Universal yesterday, like I said. When we went to Universal on Monday of last week, because it was President's Day, they had Ripsaw Falls or whatever, that Dudley Do-Right water ride closed. It said annual maintenance. Popeye's bilge rat barges were open. They're kind of across from each other. This week, when we went yesterday, Buzzsaw Rapids was open and Popeye was closed for annual maintenance. That's the appropriate way to do things. Shut one ride down at a time. You don't shut 4 rides down for annual fucking maintenance. It was ridiculous. The rest of the park, let's see, the bird encounters that said they were open, they had signs that I put on Twitter, please excuse the inconvenience, this area is closed for the day. Now, I will say that I know in Brevard County, there is a bird flu going around. So like we went to the Brevard Zoo last week and you couldn't go into the bird encounter. Okay, I get that. But I don't think that was the excuse because they didn't put that up. What they put was, oh, sorry, this is closed for the day. So like they closed it like in the middle of the day for no reason. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they just didn't put up a sign. Maybe there is a bird flu over there. They're being protective. I don't know. And also at every ride at Busch Gardens, since there was only the 3 of us and there wasn't going to be someone who would stay off, you have to pay $2 per locker per ride to put your stuff away because you can't bring any loose things onto a ride. You can buy a $10 pass. I didn't buy the $10 pass because I was like, and you can use that throughout the day at the lockers every ride. I thought maybe we weren't going to go on 4 or 5 rides and I'd break even. I wound up going on spending 14 total, whatever. But still, it's the fact that I go to Universal. If they don't want me to bring something on the ride, they have free lockers. Unless you have to put a backpack or something away, and then they charge you $2 or $3. So it's just Busch Gardens taking money however they can. And I get that they're a fucking business, but that left a really bad taste in my mouth. Also, we had a meal voucher with the ticket I got on Groupon. Yes. Jeremy with his witticisms just coming in here whenever with my pessimism and my antagonist attitude. So we bought a Groupon ticket. That's where I got it. And it came with a meal voucher. And if you guys aren't aware, I think Busch Gardens is one of the first, if not the only theme parks that has a Chick-fil-A inside of it. Now, I made sure to ask when I got that meal voucher. I made sure to ask and double check the fine print. And there's nothing that says no Chick-fil-A. And I asked several Busch Gardens employees, and they're like, no, you can go use it. So I get in line for Chick-fil-A. We probably waited another 30 minutes. I get to the front register, and I'm the first one. I'm like, let me get a spicy chicken sandwich, no pickles, and fries, and a unsweet tea. Oh, I'm sorry. The tea and the lemonade are not included with the drinks. You'll have to get a fountain beverage. I'm like, I don't like any of the fountain shit, but I'm like, whatever. Give me a Diet Coke. And then when they scan my bracelet, it still says that I owe like $4 or $5, whatever it was, for the fries. And she's like, oh, the fries aren't coming off. And she got a manager, and the manager's like voided the fries off and still gave them to me. And then Sophie did the same thing, ordered whatever she ordered, same bullshit, another $4 or $5 on the register. And she gets some other person to come over, and she's like, she looks at her wristband. She's like, oh yeah, that's not good for the side items. You know, that you can't use that on your side items, even though you're supposed to get one entree, one side item, and one beverage. And I said, well, that's not what the Busch Gardens employees told me. And they're like, yeah, they don't always know. And so, yeah, we lost out, on the side items, which was, a $10 value at this point at Busch Gardens or whatever. And I gave Sophie my fries. I'm like, you can have my fries. It's your birthday. I'm fine. Her friend ordered whatever she ordered, didn't get a side item. So it's just little things throughout the day. I think we still had fun. Like I said, we still went on all the roller coasters that were open. We went on Tigress. That's a new one that we hadn't gone on. That was pretty fun. Cheetah hunt several times. A lot of the animal displays, and I'm not sure, her friend thought maybe it's because PETA was getting onto them, but I remember when we had the annual passes a few years ago, they had like a big glass tank that had like this pretty huge alligator in it, or crocodile or whatever it was. And now it was just empty and filled with dirty, disgusting water. The gorillas were nowhere to be seen, even though the exhibit's still there. They did have some cool penguins, but it seemed like a lot of the animals just were not on display anymore. And I'm wondering if her friend was right, and PETA is cracking down on like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and things like that. You still see a lot of other animals at different parks or zoos or whatnot. But for me, especially the way it started out, it was just a really shitty day. And I got no resolution. They even sent me that fucking survey in the email. I'm like, oh boy, here you go. I read that shit. And I heard from no one. So they don't give a shit. They got my money. That's all they wanted. So fuck them. I'm really, even though she wants to go to Icebreaker, and I'm sure we will at SeaWorld, because it's still the same company. I'm hesitant to give them like annual pass money, although that sometimes that's almost a cheaper option. You think about it, you break even after 2 or 3 visits, and you live in Florida, so you might as well just go do that. Yeah. So it was a fucking mess, but it was fine. I think she enjoyed herself. And we went to BJ's and for dinner, and then we drove home. So that was my day last Saturday.
Now, because I've seen other people, they've been, and some of it's just plain old, complaining, bitching if you get stuff for free, but now you have to pay for it. But do you actually feel, because some people had the same complaint on Disney when, we were checking the forums, checking out some of the YouTube videos. Does it feel like they're asking you to pay more and then giving you less? And it just seems like it's more just like a corporate thing? Or do you think you just got unlucky?
I definitely feel like it's asking us for more money. I mean, how much is a daily ticket? $120, $130 at this point? You know what I mean? And most of the theme parks, Disney even more, and that variable pricing scheme they all have. But I mean, look at all the animal exhibits. There weren't even signs. It's not like one had recently died, or it was getting treatment somewhere at a vet center or something like that. It's like, there's nothing in this tank. We're not going to fill it with anything. You can look at the gross, dirty water and go fuck yourself, and we'll take more of your money. You're going to have to pay $2 for that next locker around the corner. So eat shit. Give me your money. That's how I felt about it.
I'm sure that's exactly what's in the corporate memo.
It seems like about 5 years ago, they started, maybe a little even longer. They started doing, special events, and, like at Disney, they had the fireworks every night, but now there's special viewing areas that you can pay extra to have a better viewing area.
Right.
At one point, it was a dessert party, so you were paying for dessert as well. Then it's just, nope, you got to pay extra just to sit in this spot to watch the show, or pay extra. SeaWorld's always done it. Pay extra for a better parking space. And now it seems like they've kind of gone the way of Disney added a resort fee. They've added a parking fee where they never at the hotel never used to have. They are just trying to find ways to get just a little bit more money out of everybody. Like you said, the $15 for the fast pass. Fast passes were always free at Disney when they had them.
Right.
They're just finding ways to kind of not nickel and dime you, but hey, the ticket's $130, but you're going to end up spending another $50 a person just to get all this stuff. Honestly, value-wise, we always thought SeaWorld was probably the better value in terms of, the tickets are usually on the cheaper side, although somebody said they've gone up a bit. And, Their food at SeaWorld to me was more reasonably priced. They had like an all-day eat thing for like $30 and pretty much get as much food as you want. And none of the other parks have anything like that I know of. Disney, they always have something down for maintenance. They have a schedule. You can look ahead and see it.
Right.
Sometimes things are down for months at a time, but like I know at Disney World, they will not take down two of the big coasters at the same time. You know, Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, I guess the Mine Train, only one of those will be down, getting worked on at a time in Disney World. You never go there and have two or three of those out of service at the same time. But, you know, some stuff will be out for a couple months, but you should know ahead of time. Busch Gardens just showing up and having stuff you thought would be open, not be open. That sucks a lot.
And it might be on me or Sophie, or, you know, I'm going to put it on Sophie because it's her birthday, but like, it might be on us for like not looking ahead of. It might be on us for not looking ahead of time. But at the same time, like, I never in my wildest dreams, like you just said, imagined I would show up and two of the main roller coasters be down, plus ancillary rides like the Log Flume and the Sky Ride, which, you know, is basically just transportation around the park. Iron Gwazi, whatever, as much as that pissed me off just because of the whole entire situation going on with the rest of the trip, I understand. You know, I hate that. But at the same time, I was a past member, be like, hey, fuck you guys. And I'd be getting on the ride. You know what I mean? But it just didn't work out that way. So they do have the meal voucher at Busch Gardens. It was like $45 for the day. And you can eat once every 90 minutes, a voucher, or a meal, entree, a side, and a drink. So that's not horrible. And that included Chick-fil-A. So,
yeah, I think SeaWorld's has, like I said, it used to be great. You could eat as much as you want. You just get in line, get a drink, get a snack, and walk away. Now, I think last time we went, it was once an hour you can go in and get, you know, an entree, a side, and a drink. Most of the time you go in line, you get a drink and a dessert and walk away because you're just going through the line to get a free drink. But yeah, even SeaWorld's going to, I'm sure, go that direction and raise the price and lower what you're getting for it. And I definitely feel like everything just costs, you know, everything has a little bit of charge now. It's not, you know, when you're in the park, it's not free. And I guess back in the day, I think I remember this as a kid, but like you went to Disney World, you might have paid, you know, to get in, but then you also had to pay for a ticket book, like in the freaking carnival. And that's why some of the rides are like called e-ticket rides, because you'd have, you know, an e-ticket, and that was for the Space Mountain or something else like that. That was, you know, the in-demand ride, and not the, you know, It's a Small World where your ticket, you know, wasn't worth as much because high volume, not as much demand type thing.
I'll give you one more thing.
I forgot one. They were still giving those ticket books either in Shanghai or another Disney park. They're still giving ticket books to like 2015 or 16, but I think they've officially stopped all the ticket book stuffs, and now they're like collectibles. So, but sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I don't know what the fuck a ticket book is. I must not have gone to this Disney theme. I haven't been to Disney in years, honestly. So that's probably what
it's just like going to the carnival and you got to buy 20 tickets to ride.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That just sounds crazy.
The tickets had different levels, you know, because you're not going to want to spend the same ticket on Small World as, you know, Big Thunder Mountain or whatever. It's not the same ride. It's not. Pirates of the Caribbean might be in the middle, you know. It's just you had like certain levels to your tickets. You bought a pack and it would have one E-ticket, 3 C's, and whatever else it was. So that's just how it worked at the time.
No, I just wanted to keep it since we're about to take a break because Jeremy has to change his tampon. We have...
Man, we've been on for 40 minutes. You usually bitch at us if we go more than like 25 without taking a break.
I know, but this
remind you.
We're keeping everything together, but thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. When we went to Universal yesterday, so we paid for the most expensive pass, the premium pass for all 2 parks or all 3 parks, Volcano Bay included. And we get valet parking. And I don't use valet parking anywhere because I don't feel like I don't believe in tipping valet people. But B, let's hear
Mr. Pink.
Exactly. We've talked about this already. Yes. So, but no, we started using it as soon as we got this because, like, honestly, the prime parking is filled all the time at Universal, which is their version of preferred parking at Busch Gardens, which, by the way, was shut down. It was unavailable the day I went to Busch Gardens. The only thing available was $30 standard parking. But back to Universal. So we go on Saturday, and this has happened to us before. I guess it was still a Mardi Gras thing. We drive up to the valet, and it's normally $75 for valet parking. We just say, hey, we're pass members. We give them their car, and we go inside and we come out. This is the second time it's happened. They're like, oh, you got to get your car out by 7 or you're going to get charged that full fee. We have a special event, quote unquote, going on. So fuck you. So instead of even bothering trying to get there by 7 and move the car and then go back, because I knew we'd probably be there till 9 with her friend, we just parked in the parking garage and, walked to the park. But it just pissed me off because, like Jeremy was saying, that it is nickel and diming, and I know that's not a good term when it's $75 and $100 diming, or not diming. That's what they're charging you. They're getting the bills out of you now, and so it's just really annoying that these parks do that to the people who are paying the annual passes, but they don't care because they get these families that come and drop $10,000 from Europe or from other countries. They come with 8 people. They don't give a shit. We spend $2,100 on universal passes. Oh, that's a drop in the bucket for them. They don't give a shit about that. They'd rather take that $75 from Valley Park. Yeah, I know.
They'd rather you not come back multiple times a year. They already got your money. They know you're not going to spend as much on each trip as the guy who's here once for 7 days and doesn't have his car to go home or go to McDonald's and eat on the way home. They're trapped. They're eating on site. They're spending their money on site. You're not. Like we had Disney passes for years. We'd go up just for a Friday night. If they were open late, we'd get there at like 5 and leave at 2 a.m. But we'd stop and eat on the way up or bring snacks with us and water with us. And, we'd pay for gas more or less to go up and do Disney for 7 hours and then go home.
Yeah.
And that's not the people that are there for 4 days and are going to see everything. Kids, you need to behave because we're going to fucking see everything this week. That's not us. All people are awesome.
I've kind of seen that theory. I've seen that theory that's why they do it, because they rather have the people who are going to be there for. We were in line to get drinks, and I literally, me and my wife heard one lady saying, she was talking to the bartender. She's like, yeah, we've been here for 9 days. I think we've seen everything. And it's like 9 fucking days. Good God. Like I couldn't even imagine. But those are the people that, they want to get maximum amount of money for, and not the people who are coming for 1 or 2 days or just visiting the park. And I've seen that theory where, maybe Disney is going to make it to where it's only going to be, you come one time, you spend a shit ton of money, and it makes more economic sense for them to cater to that than to try to, someone who could come on like a day pass type of thing. So
I can't hear anyone. So I'm wondering if you guys can, if we've been recording this whole time.
I can hear you. Can you hear us now?
I got a phone call from my daughter's fucking school. And my sound went away. So I'm assuming it was recording your shit. I kind of want to, I don't know what you were saying, but I kind of want to check that before we record the B block. I turned the phone off the fucking headphones, but I can't hear anything in my headphones right now. So we're going to take a quick break. And we're going to check that shit, and we're going to come back.
It's a professional, right, Jeremy?
I don't know what Sainte saying. Fucking awesome. I'm wondering if this is recording whatever you're saying. I hope so. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, this is Zeb Wells, and you're listening to The Usual Saints.
Conversation about your professionalism.
That must have been a boring fucking conversation without me.
We were professional over here.
I've never had that kind of issue before. Like usually, the phone was ringing and I just double clicked it so it would go away. But then I lost both of you guys. And I see you guys talking like, I'm like, I can't hear shit. Welcome back to The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Sainte and Jeremy. If you're not going to rebrand anytime soon, I don't know. Did you guys even see the Batman?
I have not.
I have not yet. I was thinking about tomorrow because the kids have school, but then I don't know. You tell me. It's a 3.5 hour fucking detective noir that I got a 7-year-old. I'm sure my kid, he'd love Batman, but I don't know, 3.5 hours. He might get a little angsty. And my daughter, she'll probably, she might check out. So that was the only thing for me. I was like, shit. I was like, do they really want us to take kids to this? I don't know. You tell me.
It's 3 hours long. I know with trailers and everything, it's probably about what you said.
3.5.
Yeah. It is my favorite Batman movie they've made so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Better than Keaton?
Better than Keaton. Better than Dark Knight. Listen, that's a tough bar, man. Dark Knight, set the bar real high. I saw one article say this is almost like the natural successor to the Dark Knight. And I'm a person. Dark Knight Rises, I've only seen once fully through, and that was in the theater. And I'm pretty sure I had a large drink And so by the end of it, my bladder was like, hey, fuck you. You're not going to be able to pay attention anymore because I really need to go. And so I think I was just focused on my bladder the last half.
It wasn't that important. I mean, your bladder was.
That's the one with Hines Ward running around the stadium.
Yeah, have you ever rewatched it?
Heather loves it, so she throws it on every now and then. I've not watched the whole thing through. No.
Rises, Dark Knight. She loves Dark Knight Rises.
She loves all of them. She loves all Chris Nolan movies. She loves all. Well, she's never seen Following, I don't think she likes Memento much. But
no, I love Nolan too. Memento. But Dark Knight Rises, I think, is probably. It seemed like he ran out of good ideas and he was just slapping shit together on that one. I was super disappointed. And halfway through the movie, I was like, is this good? I'm like, no, it's not. And like, what the fuck? And he continued to do this thing where he does not care about audio and people's dialogue. It's like, I don't give a fuck. If I'm in a movie, I should be able to clearly hear what a character's saying, unless it's like you're not supposed to understand. But we were supposed to understand what Bane was saying, and the same shit happened in fucking Tenet. The fuck? Anyway.
Bane. Tom Hardy.
I literally was like, wait a minute. Are we not supposed to understand what Bane's saying? Oh, is this a part? And halfway through, they're just fucking up. No, anyway.
I highly recommend, and I'm not going to spoil anything. We can talk about it next week. If you guys should go see it before the next time we record, though, because it was spectacular. I loved it. It never had a lull in it. It was good story, good pacing. The characters are great. The acting was great. You know, I told you guys how much faith I had in Robert Pattinson, you know, based off that movie. He did Good Time. And, you know, he was in The Lighthouse and things like that, too. I didn't love The Lighthouse. I thought it was a little weird. But he
little.
Little.
Okay.
I still don't understand that. We went to a theater in like Boca Raton or Jupiter. I think it was Jupiter. We went to a theater that had like the fancy seats and they would come serve you stuff if you pressed the button. And we watched this film and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I just watched. But it was really great. And, you know, I was talking to Heather and Sophie afterwards. I'm like, I think this is my favorite Batman movie. And that's saying a lot, you know, even if you throw the easy ones under the bus, like Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, you know, you still got
and the Ben Affleck ones, throw those under the bus.
Oh yeah. You still have the Keaton ones and the Christian Bale ones, and they're great movies. Batman Returns still holds up. Batman's still great. It's just the Riddler performance. Oh my God. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was great, man. Like, and I want to see what you guys say, but yes, I say definitely go see it. I understand what you're saying. You know, it is very dark. It is very gritty. They called him like the emo Batman, and it kind of is, you know? But if your kids like, you know, action and comics and like I said, it's not really a point where it's really a lull. It's constant action pretty much throughout. There's not a boring part or anything like that. So, yeah, I highly recommend. Like I said, I can't talk too much more about it, but
I've seen reviews. I've seen like both I've seen like people saying what you're saying, it's their favorite, to other people saying like, a lot of things didn't make sense. A lot of people, you know, trying not to get, I'm not one of those like I hate or I know spoilers before. Like I can deal with spoilers unless it's something that's really, you know, to me, The Sixth Sense is a movie that cannot be spoiled. Otherwise, you're just fucking the whole thing up. Otherwise, it's like, I assume some of these, you know what I'm saying? But so I don't mind that. But a main thing people were complaining about, which I thought was weird, people were like, you know, Batman just walks around. It's like, he's just walking around the cops and just like he's another detective. And like the rest of the Gotham PD is like, okay, there's Batman. And you know, it's like, there's no like, you know, slip in quietly, slip out like a ninja. It's kind of like, no, Batman's just walking around the cops. He's just another guy. So I heard that complaint. But otherwise, I've heard some people said some really good things, saying they think this is like one of the best. And other people saying, not so much. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off tomorrow. So are the kids. Maybe I could drag them. Maybe if we go to an early show or Tuesday. Like I said, my kids are still doing virtual school, so we can go whenever.
And I know you're not down for it, but I would recommend it. If this is probably one of the movies where I would say 4DX, even though they don't have the 3D portion. We went to see it at 4DX up in Orlando, and that car chase with the penguin that you see in the commercials, that fucking was rough, man. I felt like I was getting whiplash during that car chase, but it was so intense. It was so great. Like by the end of it, my adrenaline was pumping. I was like, oh shit, I'm holding onto the fucking seat. It's banging me around. I had a lot of fun, man. And yeah. And they had a trailer for I hadn't heard of or seen yet, DC Super Pets with Kevin Hart playing the Bat Dog or whatever the fuck is. I didn't know about that until I saw the trailer. It just got released with the film. So, but like I said, go see it. We'll talk more about it when you guys see it. But it's definitely, I think it was better than Spider-Man No Way Home, and I love Spider-Man No Way Home. It was a good movie. It was really good. Colin Farrell, like I saw someone say there's no reason to even have anyone else enter for the Oscars for 2023. That's best makeup right there, man, because you can't tell that's Colin Farrell at all. I didn't know John Turturro was in it. I don't know if you guys know that, so I hope I didn't spoil anything, but he's in it. There's a lot of good stuff in there. You know?
Someone did. They said that Turturro was just like, I guess someone was like, they didn't go in with any, like, you know, they avoided spoilers and all that. And they said a bunch of people showed up. And it's like, John Turturro, let me guess, because I actually don't know. Is he playing Falcone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's playing Falcone, and then and you got what's his name? Peter Sarsgaard, whatever his name is. You know, the son of that one guy, and then the brother of that other guy. I think, or no, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. That's Bill and the guy from True Blood, Succession, the tall blonde. What's the fuck's his name? Damn it. Hate when I do this. Hate when I can't come up with someone's name. Y'all know what I'm talking about? A tall blonde guy that everyone wants to fuck.
He's gonna play the Northman. The Northman. Yeah, that guy.
I can only think of Alexander Skarsgård. That's his name. Peter Sarsgaard is someone else, but he's still a good actor. He's the guy from Garden State, which I love. He popped up. Wasn't expecting him.
Let me ask you something. 4DX. How much are the tickets for 4DX typically?
Yeah, so I mean, they're more than normal. I don't know what they charge in Tampa. You could probably, find one for less. Like you say, if you go to a matinee or something. It was like 20, 25, I think, for a ticket, and that's for an adult.
Well, I wanted to go into this. This is the only where I'm going with it, because you see, AMC is charging an extra $1.50 variable, which I'm like, so when we just talking about the Disney and the parks nickel and dime, here comes the nickel and dime. They're going to do it for Doctor Strange. Every Marvel movie now is going to get that shit going on. I'm just like, motherfuckers. Like, what, No Way Home that make you enough fucking money? Now we got to charge this extra shit on it. So, just to top off my part, box office looks like it's going to do about 128 million, which is going to be only second to No Way Home for box office. But yeah, man, extra $1.50 for movies now. There you go.
We don't even go to AMC anymore. I think I still have that A-list thing, not the one where you see every movie every week or whatever, but that program you pay like $5 or $15 a year for, you get some rewards or whatever. But I haven't been to a fucking AMC and I can't even remember how long. The theater here, Indian River, they take such poor care of the theater. And I helped open that theater 25 years ago. I literally was there when they were building it. The upkeep, they have not replaced any of those seats in 25 years. It's the same bullshit seats that were good at the time. The stadium seating, they're shit now. Every time I go there, the
AMC in St. Lucie West, those fuckers are just beat to shit.
I know, but that's what I'm talking about. They just don't care. They're like, hey, you're gonna come see a movie anyway, fuck you. But no, fuck you, AMC. I'm not going to any more AMCs that I don't want to, like, because every time I go to AMC up here, it's like there's a sound issue. When we went to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the sound, like, it was just muffled, like one of the channels was blown, and they don't give a shit. They don't fix it. They don't do any quality control. If you tell them about it, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll check on that. They don't check on it. They don't tell any engineers. That I had to chat out back then, like, hey guys, you really need to fix this, because I'll call sometimes, and if they tell me, I say, hey, what theater is this playing? If they tell me it's playing in the theater that I know has an issue, I'm not going to go to that theater. I'll go to the other one, the one that seems to care a little bit more about presentation. So yeah, AMC, fucking more nickel and diming from corporations, man. All right, so that's my Batman thing.
I think I went to AMC. What did I see? I think we saw No Way Home at AMC, and then but we also have an Escape Theater. I don't know if you ever heard of them. There's an Escape here in Riverview.
Is it X?
Yeah, it's like X. Yeah, Escape. Okay. So we typically go to that one just because it tends to be less crowded beforehand. I don't know what it is now, but So I'll probably go to X to go see the Batman and report back next week. Yeah, maybe if I get off on my ass, maybe I'll have the rebrand done and we'll just do a 2-parter and make the second part a Boondock Suspects.
Yeah, if you don't get it done, like I said, we can always do it here, but it's up to you if that's how you want to open it up. But it's not a big deal. We could just do a show basically covering most of the Batman if we can get Jeremy and his family to go see it, or at least Jeremy. So we can include the poor bastard in the fucking thing. It's worth it, Jeremy. Go see it.
I don't want to do, because I could just go in the morning and be like, all right, kids, you guys got school, wife is doing whatever. I could just go. But I think the wife will look at me like, really? You're just going to go see the Batman? And I'd be like, yeah, like, you guys, it's 3 hour. It's just the runtime. Like, I know me and my wife, but just for the kids, like, even Spider-Man felt a little longish. I felt they could have cut a little bit off of No Way Home, but I'll take your word for it, man. Yeah, I've heard good things. So
yeah, and some of the things you brought up, by the way, like, yeah, he does kind of walk in at the beginning, but there's a point where, like, one of the cops, his name's Martinez, I think they kind of keep him around or whatever. He kind of stops Batman when he's trying to walk into the fucking crime scene, and Batman like looks at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But like, then there's other times later in the movie, so like there are cops standing up to him like, "What the fuck are you doing here? This is a crime scene. No, you ain't coming in." And then there's another point later in the movie where he goes away from Gordon doing the same old shit we're used to. Like, he just disappears. Like, you don't hear him, he's gone. And he does some of that in the movie. So, I don't think that person who wrote that, besides that, there is one walk-in, like I'm talking about, he walks behind Gordon, but it's basically the way he gets introduced to the audience as going to, like, doing a detective thing rather than just fighting crime on the street. So you'll see. It is interesting. Let's see. Jeremy said death. So do you guys have any more deaths besides? I'm sure there were more, but the one I have on there, he was close to my heart. Not that I watched it for religiously or anything, but did you guys watch Salute Your Shorts when you were a kid on Nickelodeon?
No, I was never a Nick kid. So.
I still have one scene in my head that he was in, and the only reason I know that a giraffe has a black tongue.
That's what everyone says. every article you read this weekend about this guy's death had that same thing, basically. So his name was Kirk Bailey. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah. Oh no. Go ahead.
His name was Kirk Bailey. He played Kevin Lee, and the kids named him Ugg because his last name is Lee. So Ugly. He was on Salute Your Shorts, which was what was it, like a tween, early teens kind of comedy, Jeremy? Had Danny Cooksey from Terminator 2, the redheaded kid that you used to see in a lot of things back then. He was in the show. You had Donkey Lips, the fat kid who was Danny Cooksey's friend. They were kind of the bullies on the show. Then you had, the quote unquote normal kids who were there to represent, everyone else. There's probably a nerd here and there. I don't remember too much of the show besides what I've already said.
I remember liking it. I thought it was,
Yeah, I mean, Ugly was like kind of the adult comedic relief. He'd come in and be the brunt of whatever the kids were doing and things like that. He was the one who had to discipline. Yeah, Ernest kind of thing. It was like Ernest Goes to Camp. Exactly. That's exactly what it was in TV form. Apparently, he did a lot of. Go ahead.
I was going to say there was another death, but I thought you were done with him.
No. I'm just saying. Apparently, he did a lot. He was a big time like voice actor. Not that he did any like famous voices or anything, but if you look at his IMDb, like. He was in like Hotel Transylvania, Big Hero 6, Bumblebee, Paranorman. I mean, he was in a lot of stuff. Even going back to like some of his live action stuff, he was on NYPD Blue, Felicity, all smaller roles. You know what I mean? But I mean, he worked. He was a working guy over the years. His first thing was back in, it says Mobile Suit Gundam. He was a voice actor in '81, but I think that's when that show came out. So I think his first credit was probably 1984. It says he was in a Huey Lewis music video. He was a ball toss manager. So, I mean, he's been working for fucking 4 decades almost before he died. So, I think it was cancer. He was only in his 50s. Again, that just, goes to show you. He was 59, I think. It just sneaks up on you, man. And I don't know how long he knew he had cancer because, I never heard anything about it until he died. But, the internet, being the generation that we were, everyone kind of made a little bit of a big deal about it.
So the other death that I'm surprised you don't have on the list was Ned Eisenberg.
Yeah, I was going to put him on the list. There was actually another one that was very similar to that. Maybe I'll look that up but go ahead. You can talk on him. He's that guy when you see his face. when you see his face, you know who that guy is.
I know that guy.
I mean, he was on The Sopranos.
Was he on The Sopranos? I was like, he was on The Sopranos, right?
Mavos, Mrs. Maisel. He did. I think I counted it up. It was like 35 or 36 episodes across the Law and Order series as his character of the lawyer he played. But he was on Blacklist. I mean, he was, you see him on TV and you'd be like, oh, okay, that guy's, that's not just some extra or some guy they just pulled in from the street. His character probably has a little bit to do with this episode because, he's, well, I mean, I don't know. That's how when I watch some of these shows, it's like, all right, when they have different people every week, it's like, oh, that actor I recognize. They're going to be more important than just talking to him for this 2 seconds right here. And, he did. I didn't realize most of his work was on Special Victims Unit. He did like 24 episodes or something, 27 episodes of it.
Yeah, he was a defense attorney on that, right?
He was a defense attorney on all of the Law and Orders.
He was kind of like, I don't want to say slime ball because that's the wrong word, but like he was the guy who would come in and when you saw him, like you said, because I used to watch all those shows like every week, SVU, all the Law and Orders and everything like that. And so when you saw him come in, you're like, he had that way of talking and he was getting he's getting a criminal off and you're like, fuck you, you're a villain kind of thing. Unless you're into that kind of thing. So yeah, you're right. He died. He was 65, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. 2 types of cancer or something. Yeah, I mean, he was in a bunch of other stuff. Nothing more than a couple episodes for the most part. Other than that, right. A few movies.
All right. Let's see. We've been going for 20-something minutes. Let's do one more topic. Any other deaths before we move off deaths?
Not that I remember.
Let's stick with kind of nostalgia since we talked a little bit about Salute Your Shorts. Did either of you guys, I remember watching this a bunch when I was a kid. Were any of you Little Monsters fans? Fred Savage, Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel was a blue monster with horns coming out his head.
I remember that, but I wasn't a big fan.
I don't know. It wasn't the best movie ever or anything like that. I just remember it being in heavy rotation on HBO when I was a kid. And so if it was on, I kind of, put it on if it was in the background or whatever. Apparently they want to make Little Monsters 2. Now, Howie has America's Got Talent, plus he still does stand-up. Fred Savage, I think he does a lot of behind the scenes work.
He's a big time director.
Yeah,
not big time, but he does directing TV shows and all that kind of stuff.
No, steady TV, like you're saying. Yeah. He does a lot of that, producing, directing, that kind of stuff. So it just kind of was out of the blue when I see this news post pop up the other day that I don't even know how it came up. Like you said, it's not a movie people are dying for a sequel for. What are they going to do in Little Monsters 2? Go back to the same world and have Fred Savage's kids? I mean, is Howie Mandel going to go back into the blue makeup with his huge OCD thing about germs and with COVID and everything? How's he going to feel about all that? People touching him to put that makeup on. So there's a lot of questions here. I wanted to put it on the list because I thought it was cute when I saw it pop up because again, it's part of my childhood. But neither of you have.
Fred
much
Savage
to say
had quite the little career there back in the day as a kid, didn't he? What was the one with the video games?
The Wizard, man.
The Wizard.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
I know.
I mean, back then it shows how much Hollywood is just it's fucking basically just a movie to advertise for Super Mario Brothers 3, and they go across the country. Kids, a wizard.
I remember the movie well.
Yeah, and then they have to play a game you've never played before, but get on there and figure it out. They're figuring out the warp tunnels and everything. What the fuck? When you watch that movie, this is bullshit. And I wanted to play Mario 3 so bad after seeing that shit too.
Did you
so
buy
it worked.
Power Glove?
Oh man, fuck!
What was that kid's name? Lucas. He's like, Power Glove. Yeah. And that thing was a piece of shit too, but you wanted it, right?
The Power Glove was the worst. Fucking never. I mean, they got their money back then. Them and Sega, they used to come up with a bunch of bullshit. And that Rex the robot, whatever that robot was,
the first thing, yeah.
Then he says, yeah. Anyway,
with Gyromite.
We had the track and field mat though, so you could.
Game where you would cheat, just use your hands.
Or doing the long jump, you'd step off, and then you had to make sure you got on in time, or realize that you were cheating.
Awesome. Reminiscing. That's good times. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and see what else we talk about. You've been listening to The Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Fred Davenport. Listen to the usual sense on your favorite way of getting a podcast.
Did you say welcome back to the Usual Saints? Not that it matters. Everyone knows who we are, fellas.
No.
Welcome back to the Usual Saints. So I got a phone call while we were on break from someone who I didn't recognize because it just had their name. You know how phone companies do that now. Instead of the number, they'll put the name. And it said Coco. And I'm like, huh. So I answered it because we were on break. And it turns out it's a new position at the Brevard Zoo. I don't know if I told you guys about my Brevard Zoo experience, but I can talk to you about that too. So it's a customer care director or something like that. They just started the position 3 months ago, she said. So we went to the zoo, which we had an annual pass for. Did I already talk about this? I don't want to be boring. I'm boring anyway, but
I don't remember now.
All right. So we went to the zoo after Busch Gardens the morning after. The whole plan was to wake up early, go and do the wetlands kayak because we had free kayak tickets with our passes that we bought. And we hadn't done the wetlands yet because every time we go to the zoo, it's closed. No one to operate the attraction. So, and also to do the rhino encounter because they started a rhino encounter at the zoo where you can go up close with the rhino, pet them, feed them, whatever bullshit, you know. So we wake up a little later than I would have liked. I think I woke up at like 9 or something like that. So I call the zoo and I'm like, hey, so I want to make sure to call because they told me to call before I get there we want to do the wetlands cocktail. She's like, is it up and running? She's like, oh yeah, someone's operating it right now. And she's, oh, wait, hang on. Let me just double check. And she comes back to the phone like 30 seconds, a minute later. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. It's not operating. So literally every time we've gone for the past year, that thing's been closed down. Whatever. So then I go, okay, well, what about the rhino encounter? Because I know you only allow 6 people and whatever, and we want to get tickets, but you can't buy them online. Can I buy them on the phone with you? Can you take my money? Here's my money. Can you take my money? And she's like, unfortunately, no. I'm like, well, has anyone bought tickets yet today? She's like, no one's bought tickets. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to get up there till right past 11. I noticed that it says you can't buy them after 11. And she said, well, that shouldn't be a problem. If you get up here and there's still tickets available, but you just have to get up here. I'm like, all right, I'm an hour away. I'm going to head up now. We get up there. It was a little later than we anticipated because I think gas or traffic or whatever. It was like 11:35 maybe. The thing starts at noon. I run up to the booth. I say, yeah, I want to get tickets for the 3 tickets for the rhino encounter. Oh, I'm sorry. The system won't let us sell tickets past 11:30. I said, I just talked to a woman on the phone. She said I could come up and get tickets if they were available. And she's like, she walked away and tried to talk to them. She's like, no, I'm sorry. We can't sell them. You have to be back there to talk to them by 11:45. It's literally right at the entrance to the zoo. We could have made it there, but they refused to sell us tickets. So we couldn't do that. We go over to where the kayak area is that we can use our remaining tickets for because they have a second kayak area. We buy our time for that. We go to the rhinos. It's 12:05. No one's at the rhino encounter. I don't think they sold any tickets. So whatever. We feed the giraffes. We book a time for 12:30 for the kayak. We go back to the kayak, and they're releasing the people from the rhino encounter. There were 2 people out of the 6 they could have sold on the rhino encounter. So they easily could have taken the 3 of us into the rhino encounter. I'm pissed. Whatever. I'm done. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'm not renewing my pass at this point because it literally expired the next day. I go home and I went on the website as Michael is prone to do, and I put
Chad.
I thought, yes, Chad.
I slipped into my zone, into my booth, put the dark cloak on, and emerged as Chad. So the phone and prepared.
It wasn't horrible. I typed it up. I'm like, listen, it was just disappointing. We had these 2 kayak tickets. We really wanted to do the wetlands. We weren't able to because every time we went, it was closed. And then we wanted to do the rhino encounter, and you guys wouldn't sell us tickets. Like, you wouldn't take our money because you wouldn't do it on the phone or online. So I said it was just disappointing. Whatever. I didn't leave out I took your advice, saying I didn't put we're never coming here again. We're not renewing our membership, even though we didn't renew our membership. So this lady called me. It's been a week now, probably, since I sent that message, and she said she said, I'm so sorry. I'm new to this position. I didn't get the email till a week later. If I would have known that day, I would have taken care of this for you. She's like, what I want to offer you is, she told me the wetlands were closed down because they don't have the staffing for it. And I've seen that. I get job alerts for Brevard Zoo. So I've seen that they're looking for an adventure services guy part-time for that position.
Wait, can I ask why?
Why do I get job alerts for the Brevard Zoo? Because I think it would be cool to like use my journalism background in like some sort of like capacity as like, you know, the public information officer or something like for that, or some sort of marketing or something like that. So I always leave it on just to see if anything I would be skilled or suited for, or even not if I just apply or whatever. So a lot of the times it's the lower paid positions. Like they have like ticket office positions for like $10.50 an hour. And I just feel bad for those people.
Scooper, manure grinder.
So she says, you know, I'm really sorry this happened to you. I'd like to make it up for you. I don't care if you renew your membership or not. She said, I want you to come be my guest at the zoo, and we're making sure the wetlands are going to be open after spring break. And so, you know, we'd like you to come kayak on the wetlands. And then I told her about the rhino encounter thing, and she's like, yep, that too. And so she said, you know, we want to make this right for you, you know, and this is the part where it gets a little off track. I told her, I said, you know, honestly, right now we're recording a podcast where I kind of do this Chad moment of the week. And I said, yeah. So I said, yeah, you know, we just talked about Busch Gardens and the horrible experience there. And she's like, and then, you know, we talked a little bit about that. That's why it took so long. And then she said, what's the name of your podcast? I really loved it. I'm like, nope, I'm sorry. If you find it on your own, more power to you. I said, it's just, we're a little vulgar on there, and I don't want to offend anyone. And we talk about pop culture and movies. Like we talked about Batman tonight and some of the other theme parks. But I said, I don't know you, and I don't want you to offend your sensibilities, especially with you offering me the free stuff.
I only want people I don't know listening. I don't want anyone I know listening. So we're opposite on that.
No, I just like, if someone finds it, great. But like someone who's offering me a free, what if she listens to one of the episodes and is like, fuck you, Michael. You're not getting this shit for free. You know, the way you talk about things on your podcast. Go fuck yourself. Ramonda. But no, so that was the phone call that I just took while you guys were talking about whatever you were talking about. So that was fun. I have
a question. Just made me think of that, or something else. It's a little off. It's very off topic. Do you still talk to Tan Mom?
So did I not tell you guys? I sent you guys that text when I texted her around Christmas, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if like randomly once a week you're texting her or anything.
No,
I'm just curious how much contact you have.
No, I'm not Sal. I mean, okay. So last time, let's see. I talked to her.
Tried to visit.
No, she's over in Tampa, I think, right? So Sainte can visit. I texted her May 30th asking her for IDs for the show, for bumpers. She never sent them. And then I texted her September after I heard about her husband dying on Stern.
Oh, shit.
And so I texted her there and I said, hey, I'm really sorry to hear about that, you know. And so she texted back this kind of random response, you know, Tan Mom kind of response. And then she texted me in November saying, just calling. She texted me saying, just calling you to say hi and wishing you well and your family and friends love you. I said, thanks, Patricia. Same to you. And then on Christmas, I sent that gift to everyone of Randy Quaid, you know, with the shitters full, you know, emptying it into the sewer, saying Merry Christmas. And she texted me back, don't ever send me something like that. And then I had to explain it to her. I say, Patricia, it's from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Have you not seen it? It's a Christmas classic movie, or classic Christmas movie. And she said, LOL, no, I've never saw that. I was offended by it, but if that's from National Lampoon, then that's cool. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I'm sorry. I just thought it was a nasty joke. It's all good. Okay. I said, no, I wouldn't want to offend you. I apologize. Give it a watch with the kids. It's hilarious. And she sent back, okay, heart, emoji, you. That's
so
why
I know who you are.
That was the last correspondence.
Yeah, Christmas. I don't correspond frequently. You know, just those few times, like I mentioned. Yeah. No. All right, so this is the end of the show. What should we? There's a few things on the list. We can run through them quick. I don't know. Few arrests. Michael Madsen got arrested for trespassing in California. I think that was weird. I mean, he's not really relevant anymore. I mean, he was in Kill Bill. Shit, that's been 18 years now. Obviously, Reservoir Dogs and that, and he was one of the Vega brothers, like Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction. But Yeah, it's just weird when you see stuff like that pop up. And I guess his son died by suicide recently, so that was in the news too. I don't know if you guys saw that a few months ago, but like I said, I don't know if there's any much to talk about there. I don't want to call him a washed up actor because that's a mean thing to say, but it's just weird to see, even especially celebrities who know that they're going to be put out there by TMZ or Page Six. Do something that they get arrested for. And, whether or not it was actual trespassing or if it was a mistake or someone trying to get him in trouble, who knows? So let's see. The other one was a little bit more relevant now. Do you guys watch The Boys? Saint, I got to assume you watch The Boys.
Yes.
Okay. So the lead actor on that, you need to watch The Boys, Jeremy. The lead actor on that.
I binge watched Reacher the other day. That was pretty good.
Watch The Boys. Superheroes, man. Superheroes.
Did you watch Reacher?
No, but I don't care.
So you didn't watch it, but yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I got to give things a chance. You're telling, and you're, put off without even seeing it. 2
out of the 3 people right here now will tell you to watch The Boys. I think I'm speaking for Saint, but I'm pretty sure he'll tell you to watch
Saint, you watch Reacher?
I watch Reacher. You mean the new guy that's supposed to look like the actual one, not Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I might get into it. I just think it's funny. Like, that's how the guy's supposed to look. And for the movies, they got Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise standing on an apple box. So Anthony Starr plays Homelander in The Boys, and he got arrested in Spain. Apparently, he was drunk and started a fight, got into a bar fight, got arrested. And they gave him a sentence. Like, I guess they work really fast over there. They told him, hey, if you pay the victim $4,000, you can have a 12-month suspended sentence. So he's not going to jail or anything. It's not going to affect the shoot. But this just happened the other day, I guess. So didn't know if you guys had any thoughts on that. It was just, like I said, that's celebrities in the news for their arrests and just popped up because I'm a big The Boys fan.
Did you see the one female basketball player got arrested in Russia?
Yeah, that's
probably
some bullshit.
Probably not the place you want to be arrested right now as an American, especially
right. And supposedly this happened.
Lesbian.
This happened 3 weeks ago, and supposedly they caught her with some like vape, whatever. Yeah, and she's a very out and proud, lesbian. I mean, but then again, they bring over, not to assume anything, but they bring over our WNBA players to play over there, and you have to assume 75% of them are gay. I guess they don't talk about it, but most of them are gay, so they know. But
she's pretty out about it.
Yeah, she's pretty out about it. She has a wife who's, I think they're about to have their second kid or whatnot. But yeah, to get arrested over there as an American right now, like, I don't know, man. Maybe
in jail.
Yeah, she's been there for over 3 weeks now. This people wondering if this is going to be like kind of like a leverage play. You know what I'm saying? Because I would not want to be stuck in some Russian jail with all this bullshit going on.
No, not a good time.
That's Brittany Griner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brittany. Yeah.
Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor, right?
Yeah, she won a championship at Baylor, and I think she's already won a WNBA championship. So
I think so.
Another one that it wasn't an arrest, but did you guys see that college athlete from Stanford that committed suicide? And like, no one's really. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I'm wondering if it was like a medication thing, because it seemed like she was happy and then she had surgery on her knee and then all of a sudden like just gone. And who will ever know? No one will ever know besides her, because she was in her head. But it's just sad to see something like that. Someone who probably had a lot of promise. I'm not a soccer fan, but I'm assuming she could have gone pro, pretty easily. It sucks to see something like that, but I feel for the family, So
speaking of college sports, Coach K had his last home game last night.
Yeah, I read a headline saying about Krasinski or whatever from Duke. I know, motherfucker. Yeah, I don't know. What is he retiring? I'm assuming that's what was going on. Okay. Yeah, I saw a headline about that on AV Club, and it said this like disappointing end for Coach K or whatever the fuck it said. So I assumed something like that had happened. Yeah, we're ending the show with a real bunch of downers, huh?
It's all right. Nobody made it this far.
That's a shame, Jeremy. Let's end on a high note. Bender's back in Futurama. John DiMaggio signed on, so all of the voice actors are coming back for Futurama.
Did he get paid or did he cave?
I don't think anyone's going to release that information. I'm pretty sure both sides are like, you ain't going to talk shit about us anymore and put that kind of stuff out there. You're going to get to come back, make the fans happy. everyone's happy.
I bet you they met. I guarantee he didn't get what he thought he should have got, but they probably bumped him up a little bit, and they probably bumped everybody up a little bit. They probably found another 5-10 grand an episode for everybody. Be like, here you go. Could you shut the fuck up and can we just make this? Because we're all going to make some money. And, all the other castmates are probably rolling their eyes. Be like, okay, that's how these things end. Same thing what happened with Scarlett Johansson when Disney put their shit on, which I mean, she had a legit beef. But, it all comes to, her lawyers. This is a disgrace, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, okay, Disney's, they're going to give you 10, 15 million to shut the fuck up. Probably less than you should have got, but you're going to get a little bit more. And then that's how everything gets solved now. So
let's see. Patrick Stewart confirming his role in Doctor Strange 2. So that kind of says that Professor X is going to be there.
He officially concerned? Because is it like official, or he just said, was he still? Because I just don't want the same shit that happened with Andrew Garfield, where he's trying to promote Tick, Tick, Boom, and people are like, so going to be a new Spider-Man? And it's like, don't want to talk about Spider-Man, guys. Can't talk. And you could tell he was definitely afraid of that NDA because he was like, I can't say anything. I'm Spider-Man. What do you talk? I'm not. Do you want to talk about Tick, Tick, Boom? And people are like, no, nobody wants to talk about Tick, Tick, Boom.
Listen, this is what he said in this inverse.com article. The headline is Doctor Strange 2 star confirms Professor X's MCU debut. This is what his quote says. I actually didn't recognize my own voice. It sounded different. Whether I had a cold or something at the time, I don't know. But I was astonished, and all they saw was the back of my shoulder and I think my earlobe, nothing else, that there would have been so many connections made. It pleased me. So basically, someone asked him about the trailer and he confirmed it, whether or not he was supposed to. He's basically confirmed as much. So
he's probably one of the guys that Kevin Feige is like, what the fuck? Am I going to go scold Patrick Stewart? I'm pretty sure with most of the people, he could probably get into their ass, but Patrick Stewart is probably one of the ones where he can't get on the phone and rip a new asshole. Kevin Feige's gonna be like, Stewart's gonna be like, really? So
I was excited to see that. So we'll see who else shows up. I don't know if what's that guy's name from Fantastic Four? Ione Grufford or whatever, who played Dr. or Mr. Fantastic, the one from the Fox movies. The one from the Fox Fantastic Four films. You think he's going to come back, or you think they make John Krasinski come in and introduce new Fantastic Four?
Kevin Feige ain't bringing them fucking people back. If he does, he's going to look at it like, oh, okay. Like he's just like the fucking Inhumans. There are certain properties that you can just tell that Kevin Feige wants nothing to do with. He's like, yeah, the fucking morons over there took that shit. So he'll clean slate with that. So I think John Krasinski, then again, you never know what. I mean, he has said he's been open to it.
Oh, he says he wants the role, and I think
okay, so
yeah, he's basically pushing for it, but no one's really announced anything besides that.
And make his wife. Make his wife Sue Summers. I think it's just logical. Like, why fight it? Just go ahead. And I will say this though, and this is the problem. It's not the casting. The problem is, how do you realistically and without making it look completely stupid show Mr. Fantastic have his actual powers? That's stretchy. Being able to stretch your neck and your arms, it just looks. I just think it's going to look goofy on screen, and that's your biggest issue you have with doing a Fantastic Four. Because if you read the comics, he literally stretches everywhere while his mind's going a million. He's literally building rockets and spaceships while he's stretched in every single direction. Like, how do you make that look good on screen? I don't know. Maybe Marvel can figure it out. Everything else, and also, what do you do with a Thing? To me, hopefully they go the way of the Incredible Hulk and not the way they did in the Fox movies, because that looks like shit too. So just
Michael Chiklis in a fucking rock suit.
Just saying that sounds like what the fuck? What the fuck were you people thinking? But yeah, they
don't have Tony Stark anymore. They could use another smart guy.
Speaking of that, we should talk about that. We don't need to go off topic. Well, we're going off topic. The fucking in Doctor Strange 2, the trailer. Saint, I know you've seen it. That flying person who's on fire. Who do you think that is? I've heard maybe Superior Iron Man. I've heard
which flying person on fire? The one that goes towards the Scarlet Witch?
I think so. There's someone said superior Iron Man. I don't know enough about comics or who it could possibly be. I read some thoughts. Maybe it's Tom Cruise's version of Iron Man because it's multiverse from back in the day when they wanted to get Tom Cruise to be Iron Man. I don't know.
Well, that flying person on fire, I was assuming was going to be another version of Captain Marvel because they're, what's her name from WandaVision, the black actress.
Oh yeah.
Originally,
what's that? What's the character's name?
Shit!
Damn it! I hate that.
But I think because there have been some versions of Captain Marvel who are portrayed by a black woman character, and I think that's going to be a version of her. What's her name? It's not Echo. It's fucking
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau and her mother, or her mother. It's Spectre. That's what I think the superhero character name is. Okay. It's been a character whose name was Spectre, who also played a Captain Marvel at some point in the universe. So I think it's going to be a variant. That's the best way to say it, a variant of that Spectre character or her mother. It could be, her mother, who was her Captain Marvel's co-pilot in the Captain Marvel movie. So that's what I think it is. People have speculated that Superior Iron Man is going to be one of the Illuminati which would be pretty cool. But then, man, it'd be such a flex if they could get Tom Cruise, but I just don't see it. He is a Paramount guy, and it would just be a one-off because. But the whole time you're going to be looking at it, you're going to be like, that's Tom Cruise. That's not Tony. That's freaking Tom Cruise. We were supposed to buy that he's Tony Stark. I don't know. No. It'd be a flex, though. Low to be me to fucking discount Marvel and Disney money, but shit. I wouldn't because it would take me straight out of the movie. I'd be like, holy shit. It would be cool if Downey came back and did a Superior Iron Man kind of all the bad guys kind of, or all the traditional good guys kind of play their bad guy kind of roles too. I'm just waiting for them to bring in Doom, and hopefully the next Avenger movie is Avengers Secret Wars. And we got Kang coming, and that's badass. And I'm glad they, what's his name? Jonathan Majors. He's going to be great. But I just can't wait till if they can do Doom correctly, that's going to be the next big, to me. Fucking Doom can beat Thanos' ass. If you read the Doom stories and see, and in the last Secret Wars, he did. Like literally, I won't get too much into it because we won't have enough time. But basically, Doom recreated and became God Doom, and then Thanos brought a bunch of villains and was gonna tear all the Doom shit up. Was doing it, and Doom came down and says, "Okay, guys." Whatever you guys want, I'll give it to you. And Thanos looked at him and be like, I'm Thanos. I'll destroy you. And Doom was like, I'm God Doom, and fucked Thanos up. And everyone was like, oh, shit. Doom just destroyed. And it wasn't even a thought. He just looked at Thanos and like, yeah. I know. So Fantastic Four and Doom. Let's do it. Sorry for
Jeremy.
Out.
No, it's fine. I wish we had more time. Jeremy has to go massage his wife's feet. So let's see. Let's wrap the show up.
Good man. I ain't hating. Not hating at all.
You haven't seen his wife's feet. They're like the Hobbit feet.
Hey, man. No. Do what you got to do, Jeremy. Do what you got to do. We're friends like these, right?
Let's see. Find us at theusualsaints.com. It'll post all the audio everywhere. I haven't been putting up the YouTubes because I've been getting fucking lazy. I don't know that we got a bunch of views on there anyway, but I always like to.
Lazy? Shit. Got to be on these things.
Motherfucker. It all started when you started editing it and weren't putting the YouTubes up. And so I'm like, if Saint's not doing it, I guess I don't have to. We're an audio podcast anyway. So let's see. Find us on social media, The Usual Saints at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rate us 5 stars and leave us a review. We'll read that shit on the air. Zoo Lady, if you listen, leave us 5 stars on a review. And let's see, we'll be back next week with an all new episode. I'm off the next week, so we got to figure out that shit, but we'll talk about that off there. But as always, thanks for listening to The Usual Saints. For Jeremy and Saint, I'm Mike D. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Jeremy's still muted. It's like he doesn't want anyone hearing what's going on in his living room or bedroom or wherever that is. There he is.